Our site is in Wilmington, North Carolina, on what is now the UNCW campus. It was simply a flat coastal area until a Mississippian period tribe settled on the land in the early 1600s. But why did they choose this specific spot? Well, there is easy access to two main waterways, the Atlantic Ocean and the Cape Fear River. These people could use these for food, water, and trade. The site also has rich sessile soil that made the domestication of plants and animals possible. They raised maize, squash, beans, and tobacco, all of which could have been used in the camp or traded for other goods. Their meat came from hunting deer, turkey, muskrat, and beaver, as well as from fishing. In the camp, the people also relied on their trusty domesticated Seahawks for communication, protection, and companionship. The site not only housed Seahawks, but from an aerial view resembled one. The UNCW campus has many landmarks that show the general location of many points in the site. Following a classic Central Plaza motif, the site's main gathering strip is directly below Chancellor's Walk. The people use this as a place for trade, socialization, and ceremonies. The Priest Mound is marked by Randall Library, whereas other small mounds that were along the Central Plaza are represented today by academic buildings. The clock tower shows where the site's sunstone was, however, the only parts left of it are post halls. There was also a wall around the entire complex that had guard posts for protection, also proven by the existence of post halls. Elites of the community lived on top of the mounds and large structures, while the commoners lived in huts that circled the plaza. Elites were believed to have close connection to elements of nature and religion, were excluded from hard manual labor, and held spiritual and religious ceremonies. Commoners were hard laborers that grew food, made crafts and tools, and salvaged many raw materials for building and trading. The warriors were not exactly elites, but they still reaped many of the same benefits. They enjoyed larger housing than the workers, and were excluded from any hard manual labor. Their focus was on protecting the community from outside threats. However, this protection did not last forever, as someone triggered the demise of this site. And that someone was Blackbeard. He discovered the site in 1718 and destroyed the community. Why? Rumor has it that it was because he needed a place to bury his treasure, and under the site was a perfect hiding place. To this day, no one has found it, and not even a trace was discovered during the excavation. So what did we find? First, we did random stratification of core samples to determine if a site actually existed below campus. Many artifacts were found on the site, including pottery and ceramics, pipes, net weights, arrowheads, a cannonball, and bones. And we all know that finding bones means we have to get the law involved. We had to follow the guidelines of NAGPRA because the site contained Native American artifacts and skeletons. The Archaeological Resource Protection Act of North Carolina was also utilized because the site was found on state-owned property, along with the Unmarked Human Burial and Human Skeletal Remains Protection Act of North Carolina because the site contained human remains. We had to alert the authorities to get permits before any further excavation could be done. Then we got back to business. A dry sift revealed many broken pieces of ceramics and pottery, as well as arrowheads. The pottery was made from red clay that was found in pits with burning coal. They could have been used as decoration as well as for storage and mealtime functions. The arrowheads were made from stones found in or near the Cape Fear River. These artifacts were taken to the lab for cleaning, labeling, and bagging. Also taken to the lab was a small cannonball that was used by Blackbeards during his raid of the site. All these artifacts were found in the same layer of strata, therefore they are from the same time. Through a float sample, we also discovered what their diet consisted of. The organic material that floated included bits of corn and squash. We did fluorine dating analysis of the bones that were found to determine which were the Native American settlers and which were the Caribbean invaders. We discovered many bones around the site that were not buried and many bodies of different ages on the same strata. This shows that most people in the community died when Blackbeard stormed the site. The site that lies below the UNCW campus tells a story of the people who built a community there 400 years ago. And thanks to this excavation, we are starting to shed some light on those stories.